Hi friends, Namaskara. Swagatam, Suswagatam. Kemcho, Majama. Jai Hind. Welcome once again to my YouTube channel Net Worth Riches. Today I'm going to speak about a very dreaded asset. Yes, some people might even troll me for giving information and education about such an asset. But the job of this channel is to give you all the information available out there so that you can go ahead and make an informed decision, an informed choice, how you can go ahead and increase your net worth, make more money, invest more money, and grow your money. I've already given you a lot of information about how gold is God's money, how gold is insurance money, silver is God's chutta or change money. Today I'm going to speak about people's money. Yes, you guessed it right. I am going to be speaking about Bitcoin. Now, many people might say Bitcoin is not an asset. Bitcoin is a useless investment. But there are many countries like El Salvador who have gone ahead and made it a tier 1 asset. So, I will go ahead and give you information. You go ahead and make a choice whether you want to invest into such an asset or no. But this is only for educational purposes. Please don't go ahead and invest all your money because this is a very risky asset. Now, we all know that we are in a centralized debt-based system, which means that all the control is with the government. In a country like India, the RBI prints money and we go ahead and use this money. You go ahead and check any note, there will be the RBI governor who signed, and it clearly says, I promise to pay the bearer sum of whichever note it is, 10 rupees, and I promise to pay the bearer sum of 10 rupees. Which means that whenever you go to any seller and you give the note, you will get that much value ka goods and services from that seller. But this transaction between the buyer and the seller in India, for example, it goes on because we trust the government. We trust that we will go ahead and get that much value of goods and services because the government has gone ahead and promised that. And we go ahead and trust this centralized government system. But that again places all the power in the hands of the government, all the power in a centralized authority. Now then again, with too much power, what happens? Now tomorrow, like what happened in 2016, in the past, Narendra Modi ji went and said 2000 rupee notes are not valid, 1000 rupee notes are not valid, 500 rupee notes are not valid. And then we have to go ahead and stand in huge lines. So the brunt has to be faced by all the common people like you and me. The job of the government is to allocate resources in the best possible way. But you know, governments have to be elected every 5 years. So they go ahead and allocate resources based on the vote banks that they have. Now, for example, if the farmers are in a lot of distress and they are the majority vote bank, the government will go ahead and waive their loans. Similarly, if they have to do some appeasement policy to the middle class, they will give you things like free bijli, free pani. So these are all the kind of jumlas these political parties do. But in the end, who has to pay the price because the resources are not allocated wisely? It's the common citizens. It is the common people. You and I have to pay the price in some form or the other, either in the form of taxes or in the form of inflation. The government also have a lot of tools. Suppose they mismanage a lot and they print a lot of money, we go into hyperinflation. Then if they feel that the liquidity is too much in the system, they increase the interest rates, and they have many such tools. So if they increase the interest rates to a huge extent, we go into deflation, we go into a recession. So we as common citizens, we work hard, we earn our money, we invest wisely, but all the power lies with the government, wherein they can just print money and ruin the currency system, or they could do all such jumlagiri and take us into a recession. So there's no power with you and me. The second problem that arises is that we are in a global economy. Now, since we are in a global economy, each and every country have their own centralized currency systems. Now, for example, in the US, they have the dollar as their centralized currency system. You cannot take a rupee there and go and buy goods and services because they have their own centralized debt-based system. Similarly, in India, you cannot take dollars and go ahead and purchase. You need rupees. So each and every country have their own centralized debt-based systems. But since we are in a global economy, what if a person in the US wants to go ahead and purchase something from India? He has to first go and exchange his dollars, convert it into rupees, then go ahead and transfer it to the seller in India. So this is a very time consuming process. Apart from this, there is a lot of fees which are implied, which ultimately has to be borne by the buyer. So what happens in this entire process? Monthly, we are mismanaged by the government. Secondly, there is a lot of time wastage. Thirdly, we lose a lot of money. So a lot of people suffer. Like in 2016, the lines that we had to stand in just to exchange our 1000 rupee and 500 rupee notes. That there are a lot of people that died as well. So now, tired with this mismanagement by the governments and tired of too much power with the central authorities, an individual called Satoshi Nakamoto went ahead and created he created a decentralized system, which today we know as Bitcoin. We yet don't know who this Satoshi Nakamoto is, whether he is an individual, whether these are a group of people, we don't know. That yet lies in mystery. But the decentralized system that he set up, it's not in the control of any governments. It is directly on a ledger system, and that system is called the Lightning system. Okay, so all the transactions that happens on this system. Now there are two sides to Bitcoin. One is the investment side, and the second side is the decentralized payment side. Now, if you talk about investments, firstly, a big disclaimer, please don't go ahead and invest your money without firstly educating yourself and going ahead and making an informed decision after you know all the pros and cons. So today I will go ahead and explain about the investment side as well as the decentralized payment side. Bitcoin was created right after the 2008 crisis. In 2009, the price of one Bitcoin was only 12 rupees. In 2 years, that is by 2011, the price went up to 2,400 rupees. If you check that on a percentage wise, that's almost a 2000% returns. Imagine getting those returns. You will beat much of the hedge funds that are available in the US. You will beat all of their numbers. Take Warren Buffett, take Ray Dalio, you will beat all their numbers if you give such high returns. Then from 2011 to 2012, the price fell back to 400 rupees. Now imagine the person who's gone ahead and invested in 2011 at 2000 odd, and now the price has fallen back to 400 rupees by 2012. Imagine the loss that he's sitting on. Then in 2013, the price runs up to 80,000. Now imagine the person who's invested at 400 and the price has gone up to 80,000. Can you imagine those returns? Then from 2013 to 2017, the price goes up to 1,60,000. Imagine that again. Then from 2017 to 2020 odd, the price goes up to 8 lakhs. Then from 8 lakhs in 2021, the price goes up to 32 lakhs. And by November 2021, it reaches a high of 56 lakhs for one Bitcoin. Now imagine the person who had invested in 2009 at 12 rupees, and by November 2021, he's sitting on an asset value of 56 lakhs. Now imagine those returns. Imagine what it would do to your net worth if you had 3-4 coins with you. As of today, 2023, the price of one Bitcoin has fallen back down. The price of one Bitcoin is around 24 lakhs as of today. But the point I'm trying to make is it is a very volatile asset. So please do your due diligence and only put such money that you can afford to lose. don't go ahead and bet the house on it. The second aspect I want to talk about is the decentralized payment system. I've already explained how governments mismanage the funds that are available, due to which they go ahead and ruin the currency or the monetary system. Now, there are many countries like El Salvador that have gone ahead and used Bitcoin as a payment mechanism. Yes, in a country like El Salvador, how we have ATM machines in India, there are ATM machines with Bitcoin, wherein you can go ahead and transact. You just put your Bitcoin and you can remove cash from there. So in many countries, Bitcoin is used as a means of buying products, as a means of selling products, just like how we use currency notes. Now imagine this. There are 40% of people in the world that don't have bank accounts. Yes, we sitting in India cannot imagine this because everyone here has a bank account. But there are 40% of people in poor countries that do not have bank accounts. But each of them have a cell phone. So now with that cell phone, they can go ahead and use Bitcoins to buy and sell products. Now people who are in poor countries, there are no jobs. So these people, they go abroad to work. Now for them to go ahead and send money to their loved ones who are back in their poor countries, they have to pay a huge amount. They have to either go to the normal banking channels, which take a lot of money. They need KYC. But then again, the people who are staying in the poor countries, they don't have bank accounts. Then they use companies like Western Union, which again charge very high phenomenal fees. Then either they have to send it through their friends or relatives or some kind of Hawala mode of transferring money. Again, there is a lot of risk involved. But imagine a person working in the US, all he has to do is put the account of his mother or father staying, say, in a poor country like El Salvador. He has to just press a few buttons and the Bitcoin gets transferred to his loved ones in a poor country like El Salvador. Now all that person has to do is, once he gets the Bitcoin, has to go ahead and convert it into his local currency. And this gets done in a matter of seconds. You don't have to be waiting for days. You don't have to pay such high fees for the transfer, nothing. Just sit, in a matter of convenience, press a few buttons and the Bitcoin gets transferred through the Lightning Network, which is the thing which I will explain in future. But as of today, I've explained to you about the investment side and how it is helping people in poor countries that do not have bank accounts access to currency, access to buying and selling goods which otherwise they couldn't do. So yes, Bitcoin is the future, but at the same time, when you are investing in Bitcoin, only invest such money that you can afford to lose, or such money that you don't need for the next 5 to 6 years. Because if you check the 10-year trajectory, whoever has invested and waited for at least 4 years, he has definitely made money. So if you have a long-term horizon, please go ahead and invest money that you cannot lose, but don't go ahead and bet the house. So through today's video, I want to tell you that Bitcoin is the future. It is the future of decentralized payments, blockchain technology. So please go ahead and invest only that money which you can afford to lose again, because the day this runs up, this will give your net worth such asymmetric returns that you could have never imagined. And the job of this channel is to bring and educate you about such investments where you can make, invest and grow your money, because I believe that everything that we've been taught about money is wrong. So if you've liked this video, kindly smash the like button below and tell your friends and family members about this. Clear their misconceptions about Bitcoin, educate them about this new decentralized mode of payments, and go ahead, increase your net worth, because that is what this channel is all about. Thank you.